I'm Carey Pena. Thank you so much for being with us for our weekly talk show In the Moment, focused on living your best life. I'm here now with my co-host, Gelie Akhenblit, who is the founder of Networking Phoenix, Zenobia Mertel, who's a life and style columnist with InspiredMedia360.com, and in the moment with us today, Angela Hughey, who is the co-founder of One Community and a crusader, I might say, for equal rights. Great to have you.
So excited to be here, Carey.
And Angela, we're going to be talking about a big event. It's a summit, and it's very groundbreaking what you guys are going to be doing in Phoenix this week. So we'll get to that in just a moment. And we're also going to be talking about working remotely, which you do, right?
Absolutely. We've always been remote.
Yeah, so Gelie's going to be talking about how to avoid loneliness, which I guess can stretch out to more than just working remotely, but you have some really good tips. Z is sharing her list of best summer accessories.
Right.
You're always on the beat.
Always
on the beat. Luke Kayem, our contributor, is in Hawaii, and he brings us a segment today about how to spend the summer really connecting with your family. He has 3 great tips he's going to be sharing. And our mother and son restaurant reviewers, love them. They're always out and about, and they are checking out a pizza place that they say is really charming and, of course, has great pizza.
Good.
So we'll get to all of that in just a moment. But first, Angela, to you. You are the co-founder and president of One Community. Why don't you tell folks first for those who don't know, what One Community is? Yeah.
Yeah. So One Community is a member-based coalition of businesses, organizations, and individuals who support and promote 3 very simple words: diversity, inclusion, and equality for all Arizonans.
When did you start this?
We are 8.5 years old, and it feels like it was just yesterday.
Yeah, you have grown so much momentum, and you have a lot of backing in the Valley.
We do.
How difficult has this journey been for you?
Well, I think for us that we, when we started, we said that we needed to have one eye 3 feet in front of us and one eye 3 miles down the road. And so we've always been very strategic in saying that this is a long-term investment. We understand that treating people fairly is a long-term conversation, that we have to educate everyday Arizonans and the business community about the importance of being LGBT inclusive. So it's for us, it's always about wading in, right? And we're in such a remarkable space right now. We have had over 2,300 businesses and more than 11,000 everyday Arizonans take the Unity Pledge. It is now the largest equality pledge in the nation. It's something that we can all be proud of as Phoenicians and Arizonans, and we have work to do, but we have made it very far down the road. And Gelie and Networking Phoenix, we're super early adopters, so I'm like, it's so, I just want to thank you.
I love that.
She signed before it was easy.
Oh, of course. Gelie's always one step ahead.
Always one step ahead.
I was like, how can I help?
You know, I've had the great pleasure of interviewing you and knowing you for many years, but if you would, just share a little bit of your backstory and why this is so deeply important and personal to you.
Well, here's the reality. In 60% of the state, I could still be fired, denied service, or public accommodations because I'm gay, right? So we need to update our laws. And, you know, my wife and I and people that are LGBT, not just in this state, but in this nation and around this world, have had to negotiate their ways in and out of employment issues and housing issues. We've always had to negotiate. And we live in a great state. Diversity should be one of the core things that we're so incredibly, proud of, right? We're a minority majority in 5 of our 15 counties. Our state needs to update its non-discrimination protections to include sexual orientation and gender identity. It's the right thing to do, and it's really, really good business. And when you talk about our summit coming up on Friday, we've just had an economic development report done. And from a One Community standpoint and the Unity Pledge standpoint, we've always said that doing what's right is good for business and good for the business of Arizona. And I promise you that on Friday, what I unveil during my presentation will absolutely back up what One Community has been saying for 8 years. If we want a sustainable state, we need to really, truly be open for business to everyone.
Do you still feel discriminated against?
So my job is to be the most openly gay person in all of Arizona. So I personally don't feel openly discriminated against. Although I will tell you, when I sit with, kind-hearted business professionals and some of our elected officials, I think that it's really important to tell the story in my personal journey story and the story of our community, because while I am a high-profile person who happens to be LGBT, my story is probably not necessarily that same path as other LGBT Arizonans are going down, right? I don't get to negotiate. I have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, so I think I'm an incredibly fortunate Arizonan, but I want to make sure that all gay and transgender Arizonans have the same equal treatment and the same access that I do.
Well, and this is not a political show, so
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of back and forth, but we'll save that for a different platform. Because some people push back at you on that, but you have been a crusader that stood by what you believed all these years.
But here's the thing, equality and treating people fairly should not be politicized. And what we have been able to do, we talk about like our core beliefs from a one community team standpoint, and we talked about that on your show when I was fortunate enough to first be with you a couple years ago. We don't see opposition, we see opportunity, right? And so we'll sit down and have a cup of coffee with anyone. And so when you look at our broad-based coalition, it is made up of a lot of center-right individuals, a lot of center-right companies. We have a faith-based coalition of over 200 faith leaders who are open for worship to everyone. We just did our first Spanish language phone bank with our good friends at Univision last Thursday. It had Spanish-dominant business owners lead this conversation last Thursday.
Conversation, that's the important part of it.
It's a conversation.
I have a question
Go ahead,
about
Zeke. Yeah.
where would you rank Arizona as far as compared to other states in the country as far as how
where we're at.
Yeah, where we are and where we need to go.
We're not where we're supposed to be, right? So we have 50 states in the United States, and we've had 20 states that have updated their statewide policies, their non-discrimination policies to include sexual orientation and gender identity. We are at a competitive disadvantage. When we look, tourism is our #1 export. When we look at other regions that we compete against, either the municipality that we compete against or the state that we compete against directly has updated their policies. So we're at a competitive disadvantage from a tourism standpoint, from an attraction and retention of top talent standpoint, and I would say from a sustainability standpoint. The decisions we make today will decide our journey as a state in the next decade. And so the sooner we get to treating all people fairly, the better off it's going to be for your children, right?
We have just about a minute left in this segment. Talk to me about the Point of Pride event, because this is really directed at the business community. And what is your goal?
Yeah, we want to educate the business community and everybody that attends this event, right? So again,
it's coming up Friday.
It's this Friday. It's at ASU Memorial Union. Super excited to be there.
I have so many great memories from Memorial Union. When I saw I was there, I was like, I'll just go down there just for nostalgia.
There you go. I remember when, right? My presentation is about sustainability. Again, attraction and retention of top talent, the fact that we are at a competitive disadvantage, and then of course our big reveal, the results of the economic development report that we've had done.
Can you give us any hints?
I can tell you that doing what's right is awfully good for the business of Arizona. I can sure tell you that. Listen, the better off our state does. We talk about education needing funding. We talk about this is a great way to add dollars to the betterment, not just for LGBT Arizonans, but for all of us. So.
And just very quickly, your keynote speaker is
Katie
Van Horn, and she's the Vice President of Diversity and Engagement at GoDaddy, and that company has been incredible, leading the way.
They've really, really stepped up. Katie's going to share her personal journey, right? And then also GoDaddy's personal journey, how they are continually evolving to ensure that they are diverse and inclusive, and I think really create an interactive environment so that businesses and organizations of all shapes and sizes understand that it doesn't matter where you're at the path, there is an entry point, right? And then our panel discussions, my goodness, we've just got really remarkable panels going on, again, around tourism, economic development, sustainability.
And why diversity is important in the workplace. That's really the heart of what you guys are trying to share there.
It is.
So we'll put all of the information on that on our website as well, inspiredmedia360.com. And now it is time to thrive with Gelie. So you're talking about working remotely.
Yeah.
And Angela, you work remotely.
Absolutely.
So your office is your living room, or your kitchen, or wherever you feel like working that day.
Second bedroom down the hallway.
I just read in Forbes, Gal, they just had an article posted up in May, and it said, are remote workers happier and more productive? So they asked this question, and they talked about how remote working environments are becoming so much more desirable today.
Right.
Everyone wants more flexibility. And they asked that question, and then they said employees score consistently higher when they work remotely because they enjoy freedom and flexibility. But there is a downside that you're talking about, and that is sometimes feeling isolated.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, and a lot of people feel that, right? So for me, I work from home as well, and I have for about 10 years. But the difference between, my work-related activities and others is that what I do so social, that for me, when I'm alone working, that's like good, I don't want to be around anybody. But it's opposite for a lot of others. So what I would suggest is, even if your job doesn't require you to network, but you're working from home, schedule yourself networking meetings. And the best time to truly network is when you don't need it. So, 1 to 3 lunch meetings a week or coffee meetings, just find people. You can find them on networkingphoenix.com and schedule meetings and start meeting people. The other thing you could do is meetup.com, right? They have great social type of activities. So hiking groups, yoga groups. So if you have a full social calendar, then you won't feel so isolated when you're actually working from home.
So that's a business platform, not like a dating?
Meetup.com?
Yeah,
it's
both.
No, it's not really, it's not really meant for dating. It's meant for
Socializing.
Socializing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's say if you like hiking, you can go hiking with other mommies, and it could be like specific to your geographic area.
So these things all go to just make sure that you're staying connected.
Right, that you're staying connected, absolutely. And you've got, because sometimes people just don't have friends outside of work. And if they're working from home, they don't know how to meet people. So meetup.com is a great way to meet other people within your, your activities that you may enjoy. And then the last thing I would suggest is maybe consider working out of a shared co-working space.
Those are booming around the
They
Phoenix
really
area.
are. And they're really not expensive. Maybe the company will even pay for it.
You work out of one.
I don't full-time work out of one, but I pop into one. It's called Desk Hub, and I love it. It's a great space. They have a space in Waterfront, so it's gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
And it's really inexpensive to rent a desk. You don't even have to get a room, but you're around other people that are also working on their own businesses, and so this way you're not feeling so isolated.
Yeah, I like that right at Waterfront, so that when you get burnt out from work, you can go have a Prosecco
Yeah,
right after you're finished working. All right, thanks, Gal. And now it's time to vibe with Zenobia. So Zenobia writes a column for InspiredMedia360.com, and you cover a lot of things that are hot and happening around town. Today, you are sharing with us the hottest summer trends. What do we need to have,
Yes. Okay, summer's here. It's on. So last summer, I saw this on the beach, had to get them. It's on my column list in Z Life. I wrote about round towels. They are so cool, and they're very functional.
Yeah.
Big, beautiful, get a lot of bums on there. But towels in general are making a statement on the beach right now. So if you have typical rectangle towels and that's your kind of thing, very graphic. It's fun. They have cool sayings like, I'm fun, or beach please. So super fun.
You can make a statement.
Making a statement, fun, bright, and a good way to just, get style out on the beach.
Yeah.
And then, of course, sunglasses, sunnies. That is my thing. I mean, that's kind of my signature, and that's what I live for. But just came across, and it's been out for a bit, but they're Key. They're called Key Australia is the company, an online company, and they're totally affordable. Huge aviators.
I think they would look good on Angela.
Oh, yeah. You would rock
so-
those.
She's so popular. She needs sort of like
Yeah.
that celebrity kind of
I'm getting a new
sunglasses
towel
look.
and apparently some bigger
Yeah.
aviators this
But the
weekend.
trend right now is kind of going smaller.
Oh.
But you know what? They're always changing
Just
the
got me.
trends. Just do it. Do you?
Do it anyway.
Do you? So I've been rocking the big aviators. Totally affordable. Celebrities love that brand. And then peekaboo clothing. Moms want to stay stylish and look good. There's a company that I really like. It's called Lulu.com. Just went to Bottle Rock recently and got a few things there. But still sophisticated, appropriate. A lot of great options on Lulu. And then
Not too much peak, just
not
a
too
little
much,
bit.
a little peak,
Just
like a
little bit of peak.
shoulder, or lace is really in, peaks of lace, and backless. But another thing that's really made a comeback this season, you're going to see it everywhere on the beach, are one-piece
I think they're
swimsuit.
so chic.
So sophisticated.
Yeah.
They can come, for play, or a little bit more loungy, like I'll be wearing at the spa next week. A lot of variety, strapless, halter, whatever. And from Kohl's to Neiman's. I mean, everyone has them, affordable, and those are the things that will rock your
People want to
summer.
hear your fashion tips, Z, because people are always writing to me like, I love the way she always styles herself. So
Well,
I love
I'm giving it away.
Thank you, Z.
Yeah, no problem.
And now we want to share out a clip from my podcast, Carey Pena Reports. As most of you know, every Friday I sit down and do an in-depth interview with someone who has a highly inspirational story to share. Well, I most recently concentrated on a tragedy. On June 5th, 2016, a very well-respected photojournalist, he worked for NPR, his name was David Gilkey. He was killed on assignment in Afghanistan. I sat down and talked for the first time. He gave an interview with his best friend. He was like family. and he shared more about David's deep love of journalism. Listen.
But yeah, he was very authentic. I mean, he was who he said he was. And when he went into, these war zones to take pictures, he did it with the idea that I needed to show the world what was happening.
I was just so appreciative for the family agreeing to allow the story to be told. There was so much pain associated with his death. But the beautiful thing was, first of all, being able to share out his images, truly amazing images. But also, if you listen to the interview, and I hope you guys will tap onto the site, inspiredmedia360.com. It's a great interview about an amazing man. But what I took away was that he did what he truly loved, what was in his heart. He went to Afghanistan. He went to Iraq. He had no fear. But he truly believed in journalism and telling the authentic story. Take away all the politics and all the things that are going on. This is a man who loved to tell pictures, to show pictures to the world of what he was seeing right there in front of him. And that's important work. Yeah, so we really we're so honored to be able to share that story. And now we want to check in with our contributor, Luke Kayem. He always brings some Wednesday wisdom.
Yes.
Today he's bringing it from Hawaii, and it all has to do with connecting with your family over the summer. Take a look.
Aloha, Carey. Thanks for having me back for another week of Wisdom Wednesdays. And this week, we're kicking off summer with a family vacation to Maui, Hawaii. There's 3 things that I do to get close and spend some quality time with my kids, especially when we're traveling and vacationing or enjoying time together this summer. Number 1, get outdoors, get outside, go for a walk, go for a hike, and move. Number 2, go swimming, get wet, get in the water, whether it's the ocean or the pool, but just the act of playing and splashing brings your kids even closer to you. And number 3, you can see it right behind me, my son and one of his friends are doing right now, go fishing. There's something about fishing that gets you connected to the earth, to the land, and to the water. You don't have to eat the fish. You don't even have to keep them. You can throw them right back in. But dads, find a way to do those 3 summertime activities with your family to inspire, to improve, and to upgrade the summer vacation you already have planned. Aloha.
I love the tips about kind of taking some downtime in the summer. And I mean, Angela, what do you do to kind of, you're a very busy person, so what do you and your wife do when you feel like, gosh, our wheels are just spinning too much, we need to stop?
So I will tell you in the summertime that I pretty much mandate 2 full days in the office, and then the flexibility to do a half day and just be like, you know what, let's go take a hike, or let's start a little later and take a walk and go get some breakfast.
How does that help you?
Going back to Gelie talking about working remotely, I think that you have a different headset on when you're in meetings, right? And so for me, the way that I kind of package my week is if I have to be out, let's do it, and let's put as many meetings in there, because I just think that you're bringing a different type of energy into your conversation, and then having these really important cerebral opportunities in the office, and then I'm a inordinately early riser, so I love.
So I can text you as the one person at 4:45 when I'm like, what do I do? I'm up.
But we were talking on the way over here, and I'm like, I'm 6 hours into my day right now. But it's fantastic, right? Because when you can be working, and if you're in just this really clear headspace right when you wake up, it's just really cerebral for me.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of creativity that can go on. Because, basically what we're always trying to do is connect the dots in this crazy head of mine, right?
Yeah.
And so how do we keep this conversation going? How do we bring more people into the conversation about treating people fairly? And we know it's not a straight line.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of connectivity that goes on.
So you're saying that you kind of have game on moments when you know that your game is on, you're going to go for it, and then you step away and you allow yourself to break.
Well, and not only allowing myself, but you have to give yourself the permission to say no. I think one of the smartest things we can do as professionals and as busy parents, is to give ourselves the permission to say no.
Yeah.
We don't have to say yes to everything. So we prioritize things. I'm very fortunate. I've got a remarkable team that works alongside of me, and saying, I don't need to be at every
Yeah.
single event.
Yeah.
And
Oh
we
boy,
just
I
love
hope my
our
husband
downtime.
doesn't see this episode. He's
Yeah.
like, did you hear
Stop
what Angela
saying
was
yes. Sarah says yes to everything. But
And now we're going to go out to lunch with Mom. So we were talking about our great restaurant reviewers, this mother and son team. They go out together every week to a different restaurant and check it out. And this is what David says. David Lux, he says, it was a rare North Scottsdale outing as we went to Lamp Pizzeria, really charming place. And no burgers on the menu, so Mama Lux loves burgers. Angela, she loves burgers. He says, so I let Mama Lux pick and choose, and she chose the antipasto salad to start and the margarita pizza with pepperoni added. Pizza is all about the dough and the freshness of the ingredients. They cook in this gorgeous wood-fired oven. I love pizza almost as much as my mother likes burgers, and this was a standout. And the artichokes in the salad were a nice contrast to the pizza. He says, it was a hot one this weekend, but never too hot for good pizza in a city that is becoming world-renowned for its pizza. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, Chris Bianco in the Bianco Group.
He's amazing
Well,
person.
best pizza chef in the nation,
Yeah.
right? So he's so kind, and Chris is just he's a remarkable Arizona gem, right?
Yeah.
Really speaks from his heart and is very adamant about community, his sense of community and treating people fairly.
Yeah.
So he was just so really gracious. We had a big unity pledge signing, and as we like to say, pizza doesn't discriminate, and neither should Arizona.
If you're going to eat pizza, that's a good place to
Absolutely.
go. And I'm going to have to go check out Lamp
Sounds
Pizzeria
fantastic.
as well. We're going to close out today. We always like to close the show with a segment we call Do Good.
Right.
And we want to share a story. It's a very tragic story, but we want to share it out because we hope that we can help out this family. So Z, take it away.
Yeah, there's a lot of hope with this story too, and it's really gone viral globally. This is about a family that's local, and it's personal to me because I do know the family, but basically 2 sons raising a great family. This one mom always would Facebook about how excited she would be when the kids would come home from school. Her son was coming back from Seton Hall, all of a sudden got sick. This illness turned into a life-threatening infectious disease that ravaged his body, came right back to Phoenix, went straight into ICU, and was in ICU for 2 straight weeks. His organs completely shut down. He contracted the flesh-eating bacteria. They don't know how, where, why. I mean, just went from healthy kid to straight into ICU. So tragic all the way around. But the best part of
And
this
he had
story,
to have some amputations.
he did. And the best part of the story, though, is they knew that his spirit is so strong. He's a fighter. And so they started this whole, we're going to focus in on live like Kainoa. And they did. And everything you see online was his spirit, his strength, his family. They're deeply rooted in the Hawaiian culture. All came together, and they truly believe that this uplifted him, brought him right out of that coma. He's turned a bit of a corner. He's still in stable but critical condition, and he had to have some amputations.
His legs and his hands.
His
right?
legs and hands. He's called a quad amputee. I just talked to the family this morning, and they're so glad that we're sharing this story because he's got a long road ahead. He turned a corner, but he's still in the hospital. He's going on day number 30 at Mayo. So they are focused on getting him right back to that life that he knew.
He's a beautiful guy.
They're so grateful for the community and the people all around in prayer and faith, and the person that he is propelling him forward. So we're glad to share his story to help others be inspired off of his journey.
And we're sharing out their Facebook page, and if people feel so inclined, they can go on there and donate. And we just want to send all of our love and prayers to that family.
It's a great story.
Angela, I want to leave you with the final word. You are a person who has crusaded for what you believe in, and you have not let anyone deter you. How have you kept that spirit and positivity in the face sometimes of negativity? And it isn't always easy the path you've been on.
I think that you lean in. I think that you make a decision not to limit the opportunity, and really not to see opposition, but to see an opportunity to engage with people, right? And we all have something in common. And if we start there, then we have the ability to really move this conversation forward and to become the great state that we have the ability to be, and be a state that truly is welcoming and literally open for business and open for worship and just open for all Arizonans. That's who we are.
I think that's an important message just in general right now, that there are so many things in common that people have, and you can have differing points of view, but at the same time be respectful.
Be respectful and be kind, and don't predetermine the outcome.
Yeah.
We have numerous partners who, and I have so many, we have so many really remarkable friends and leaders in the movement of equality that if you looked at our resume, you would say these two things, these two folks are not going to have a very good conversation. But if you're open, you're surprised on a daily basis.
Always great to have you.
Thank you for the
and to
opportunity.
be able to sit down with you, and best of luck at the event on Friday.
Thank you.
I'll be looking for that breaking news. Now the news person.
Big
is
deal.
like, I want to know
It's big.
what's going on. Thanks to all of you for joining us for our show today. We hope that you will join our growing Inspired Media 360 community. You can always find us online at inspiredmedia360.com. And that's going to do it for us. Make sure you go out and live in the moment. Take care, everyone.